Julian's voice broke through the tense silence. "Tell me, Ms. Turner, was it the color of my skin that made me unworthy of a simple glass of water?" In one sudden, fateful moment, Caroline Turner's casual decision to refuse a simple glass of water spiraled into a crisis that shattered her carefully maintained facade. The calm, dignified couple before her revealed themselves not as ordinary travelers, but as the actual owners of the airline. Caroline's carefully constructed world began to crumble. The flight had commenced with routine professionalism as passengers settled comfortably into their first-class seats, each anticipating impeccable service. Caroline Turner, a seasoned flight attendant with years of experience, moved confidently down the aisle, demonstrating an assured precision born from knowing exactly which passengers warranted her attention. In her estimation, the impeccably dressed business leaders, celebrities, and politicians represented the standard mold of high-profile clientele deserving immediate attention. However, as her eyes landed upon an unassuming elderly couple quietly seated in a distant corner of first class, an imperceptible shift in her instinctive judgment occurred. Julian and Eleanor Bennett exuded a quiet dignity, distinguished yet understated, contrasting markedly with the ostentatious displays of wealth typically encountered in first class. Their quiet presence and humble demeanor set them apart subtly, though they carried no overt markers of importance. This very subtlety influenced Caroline's decision, causing her to subconsciously deem their request less urgent. When Julian politely asked for a simple glass of water, a request promptly fulfilled for every other passenger, Caroline's response was curt, dismissive. Barely pausing, she informed him water was momentarily unavailable, her tone icy, her expression faintly disdainful. As the flight proceeded, Caroline continued her routine service, seemingly oblivious to the mounting tension. Nearby, Megan Collins, a junior flight attendant, silently observed the interaction with growing unease. While Caroline attended to passengers with confident detachment, Megan's discomfort grew, her eyes frequently drifting toward Julian and Eleanor. The disparity in the service provided to those fitting Caroline's preconceived notions versus those who did not became increasingly apparent. Minutes passed amid soft conversations and the gentle clink of glassware. Unbeknownst to Caroline, a series of discreet communications emerged from the Bennett couple. Julian, without raising his voice or creating a scene, initiated a message to the airline's operations center, triggering a silent but potent alarm through the hierarchy. The elderly couple, far from ordinary passengers, were in fact the owners of the airline. Their patience and restraint masked the immense authority poised to alter the course of the flight and Caroline's career. In the cockpit, Captain William Bradley and his co-pilot received an unusual alert regarding the treatment of two passengers in first class. Recognizing the gravity, Captain Bradley swiftly responded, his voice calm yet authoritative as he conveyed a stern directive to his crew. "We have priority passengers on board. Ensure they receive the immediate and exemplary service they're entitled to." Caroline, entirely unaware of the chain reaction unfolding behind the scenes, continued her duties until the sudden ring of the in-flight phone disrupted her illusion of authority. Captain Bradley's voice, firm yet composed, issued a directive she could not ignore. "You will personally ensure Mr. and Mrs. Bennett's comfort. No more delays. Am I understood?" The gravity of his tone sent a chill through Caroline. She realized instantly the depth of her mistake. Her actions had consequences that extended far beyond the current flight. Passengers began sensing the shift, murmurs and whispers circulating as Caroline, her usual confidence visibly shaken, approached Julian and Eleanor once more, this time with the requested glass of water. "Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Bennett," she began stiffly, forcing politeness. "Here's your water. My apologies for the delay." Julian accepted the glass, his gaze unwavering. Then, softly yet piercingly, he asked, "Why did every other first-class passenger receive immediate service while we were ignored?" The simplicity and directness of his question cut through the air, demanding not apologies, but honesty. Caroline struggled, searching desperately for justification, but none existed. It had been an instinctual judgment, an unconscious bias, now painfully exposed. Megan, standing close by, exchanged a meaningful glance with Caroline, a silent acknowledgement of a profound failure in principles that first-class service was supposed to uphold. As hushed conversations intensified throughout the cabin, Caroline felt trapped beneath mounting scrutiny. It was no longer merely about a lapse in service. It had become a reckoning. Then came the ultimate blow. The in-flight phone rang again, this time with a caller ID that filled Caroline with dread. Jonathan Bennett, founder of Bennett Airlines and Julian's father. A single call from this man could decide Caroline's professional fate. The voice on the line was calm, yet unyielding. Jonathan Bennett, embodiment of the airline's foundational principles of fairness and respect, posed a direct challenge. "Tell me," he questioned firmly, "was this an isolated oversight, or is deciding who's worthy of attention a routine part of your service?" Caroline felt overwhelmed by the weight of her choices. Her previous justifications crumbled as the precision of Jonathan's questioning left no room for evasion. He issued an ultimatum. Unless she demonstrated genuine accountability and committed to substantial change, her employment would terminate immediately upon landing. The cabin, now fully aware of the unfolding drama, fell into hushed anticipation. Caroline was quietly escorted to a private section of first class, emphasizing both the seriousness and potential irreversibility of her situation. Alone, she sat grappling with the turbulence within her conscience rather than the aircraft. Julian and Eleanor's quiet yet powerful presence haunted her, not with accusations, but with the undeniable weight of fairness. They had never raised their voices nor demanded spectacle or punishment. Instead, they held a mirror to Caroline, forcing her to confront uncomfortable truths about her behavior and biases. As the aircraft began its descent, the moment of reckoning neared. Near the galley, in a confrontation charged with quiet intensity, Julian spoke once more. "You have a choice," he told Caroline plainly. "Walk away unchanged, or show that you've truly learned something." His words stripped away her pride, revealing this incident was about more than just a single flight. It was about defining who she chose to be. True redemption required more than apologies. It demanded introspection, acknowledgement of personal bias, and a sincere commitment to improvement. For the first time, Caroline understood clearly. Her job was never just about service. It was about dignity.